Before you rush into this day, pause for a moment and listen carefully. Life moves fast. Every morning brings new responsibilities, new challenges, and sometimes worries that quietly sit in our minds before the day even begins. Some mornings feel hopeful and peaceful, but other mornings feel heavy, as if the weight of yesterday is still resting on your shoulders. Many people wake up already thinking about problems, pressures, or uncertainties about the future. But today, take a deep breath and remember something powerful. You are not meant to carry life alone. There is a strength greater than your fears, greater than your doubts, and greater than every obstacle that may stand in your path today. That strength does not come from money, success, or human approval. It comes from faith. It comes from the quiet trust that God is walking beside you even when you cannot see the road ahead clearly. This morning prayer is not just about asking for help. It is about renewing your spirit, calming your mind, and reminding your heart that no matter what happens today, you are supported by a strength that is far greater than your own. So before you step into this day, open your heart, breathe deeply, and allow these words to guide your thoughts. Because sometimes the most powerful way to begin the day is by surrendering your worries and asking God to fill your life with courage, wisdom, and strength. This morning is a gift. The simple fact that you opened your eyes today means that another opportunity has been placed before you. Yesterday may have carried disappointment, stress, or moments when things did not go the way you hoped. But today is not yesterday. Today is a new chapter, a fresh beginning that allows you to step forward with renewed purpose. Many people carry the mistakes and worries of yesterday into the new day. They wake up already feeling defeated, already believing that the same problems will follow them again. But faith teaches us something different. Faith reminds us that every sunrise is a symbol of renewal. Just as the darkness of night disappears when the sun rises, the difficulties of yesterday do not have to control the direction of today. When you begin your morning by focusing on strength instead of fear, your entire mindset begins to change. Instead of asking what will go wrong today, you begin to ask what opportunities might appear today. Instead of focusing on problems, you begin to notice possibilities. Real strength does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it is simply the quiet decision to keep moving forward even when life feels uncertain. Sometimes strength is choosing patience when frustration appears, choosing hope when discouragement tries to enter your mind, and choosing faith when the future seems unclear. As you step into this morning, remind yourself that strength grows gradually. Every small decision you make today, every moment you choose courage instead of fear, adds another layer of resilience to your life. There will always be moments in life when challenges appear without warning. Plans change, obstacles arise, and situations develop that we never expected. During those moments, it is easy to feel overwhelmed or discouraged. But those moments are often the exact situations where inner strength begins to develop. Strength is not something that appears instantly. It is built slowly through experience. Every challenge you face, every difficult moment you overcome, and every time you choose faith instead of fear, adds to the foundation of your character. God does not remove every difficulty from our lives because sometimes those difficulties are the tools that shape us into stronger people. Just like a muscle becomes stronger through resistance, the human spirit becomes stronger through perseverance. When you understand this, challenges no longer appear as enemies. Instead, they become opportunities to grow. They become moments where your faith can deepen and your character can become stronger. So when difficulties appear today, do not immediately assume that something is wrong. Sometimes those moments are simply part of the process of becoming the person you were meant to be. Prayer is one of the most powerful ways to reconnect with strength. When you pause and speak honestly with God, you create a space where your worries can be released and your heart can become calmer. Prayer is not about using perfect words or following complicated rituals. It is about sincerity. When you pray, you acknowledge that you do not have to control everything. You allow your fears, hopes, and struggles to be placed into hands that are far stronger than your own. This simple act of surrender can bring incredible peace. Many people try to solve every problem through their own strength alone. They carry heavy burdens silently, believing they must figure everything out by themselves. But faith teaches us that we are never meant to face life alone. When you invite God into your day through prayer, you allow His guidance to influence your decisions. Your thoughts become calmer, your perspective becomes clearer, and your spirit becomes stronger. As this morning continues, Remember that prayer is not just a moment, it is a connection. It is a reminder that even when life feels uncertain, you are supported by a presence that sees every step of your journey. As the morning continues to unfold, take a moment to recognize the quiet strength that already exists within you. Many people underestimate their own resilience because they focus only on their struggles and forget how many challenges they have already survived. Think about the difficult seasons you have passed through in your life, moments when you thought things might never improve, moments when fear or uncertainty seemed overwhelming. Yet here you are today, still standing, still moving forward. That alone is evidence of strength. Strength does not always come from dramatic victories or sudden success. Often it comes from endurance, the ability to keep going even when progress feels slow. Every time you chose not to give up, every time you continued despite disappointment, you are building the inner strength that carries you today. God often works through these quiet moments of endurance. When life seems uncertain, He is shaping your character and preparing you for greater responsibilities ahead. The struggles you face today may one day become the wisdom that guides someone else through their own difficult season. So as you begin this day, do not underestimate the strength that has already been developing inside you. The challenges you have faced were not meaningless. They were part of the process of becoming stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you were before. This morning also invites you to release the weight of unnecessary worry. Many people carry concerns about the future long before those problems even exist. The human mind has a habit of imagining worst-case scenarios and creating anxiety about events that may never happen. But faith invites a different perspective. Faith reminds us that the future is not something we must control completely. Instead, it is something we walk into step by step, trusting that God will provide wisdom and guidance when we need it most. When you focus only on the uncertainties of tomorrow, you lose the peace that today is meant to bring. God did not design your mind to live constantly in fear about what might happen. He created you with the ability to trust, to hope, and to believe that every day holds opportunities for growth and progress. As you move through this morning, allow yourself to release worries that you cannot solve right now. Focus on the present moment, on the tasks before you, and on the small steps you can take today. Strength grows when your mind learns to remain calm even when the future feels unclear. Every morning holds the possibility of transformation. Even if yesterday felt discouraging or unproductive, today offers a fresh opportunity to approach life with renewed determination. Growth rarely happens all at once. Instead, it develops gradually through consistent effort and faithful persistence. Think about how nature works. A tree does not grow overnight. It begins as a small seed hidden beneath the soil, slowly developing roots before its branches ever appear above the ground. For a long time it may seem as if nothing is happening, but beneath the surface the foundation is forming. Human growth works in the same way. There may be seasons in your life when progress feels invisible. You may feel as if your efforts are not producing immediate results. But those seasons are often when the most important development is taking place within you. God is shaping your patience, strengthening your faith, and preparing your heart for the opportunities that lie ahead. So when progress feels slow, do not assume that nothing is happening. Trust that unseen growth is taking place. Trust that the work you are doing today, the discipline you practice, the faith you hold on to, and the courage you show, is building the foundation for the life you are meant to live. As the day begins to move forward, remember that strength is not only about facing large challenges. Sometimes strength is found in the small decisions you make throughout the day. The choice to remain patient when frustration appears, the decision to speak kindly when irritation rises, and the determination to continue working toward your goals even when motivation feels weak. These small moments shape the direction of your life far more than dramatic events. Many people wait for a perfect moment to become stronger or more disciplined, but growth rarely begins with dramatic change. Instead, it begins with simple choices repeated consistently over time. Each time you choose faith instead of doubt, each time you continue despite tiredness, and each time you hold on to hope even when circumstances are uncertain, you are strengthening the foundation of your character. God often works through these quiet decisions. When you choose patience, you create space for wisdom. When you choose perseverance, you allow opportunities to develop. And when you choose faith, you invite peace into your heart even during difficult situations. So today, do not underestimate the power of small actions. The person you become is shaped by the choices you make in ordinary moments. Life will occasionally place you in situations where your strength feels limited. There may be moments when you feel exhausted, discouraged, or uncertain about how to move forward. These are the moments when faith becomes most important. Faith is not simply believing when everything feels easy. True faith appears when circumstances are unclear and the path ahead seems uncertain. It is the quiet decision to trust that God is still guiding your steps even when the destination cannot yet be seen. Think about the journeys of many people who have achieved meaningful success or spiritual growth. Their paths were rarely simple or predictable. They experienced delays, setbacks, and seasons where progress seemed invisible. But those seasons often served a deeper purpose. They developed patience, humility, and resilience, qualities that later allowed them to handle greater responsibility and influence. Your journey may also include moments like this. Times when you question whether your efforts are leading anywhere. But those moments do not mean you are lost. They may simply mean that preparation is taking place behind the scenes. Another powerful source of strength is gratitude. When life feels difficult, the human mind naturally focuses on what is missing or what is going wrong, but gratitude shifts your perspective. It reminds you that even during challenging seasons, there are still blessings present in your life. The ability to appreciate small things, a quiet moment of peace, the support of loved ones, or the opportunity to begin another day, can transform the way you experience life. Gratitude does not ignore problems. Instead, it places them within a broader perspective. It reminds you that challenges are only one part of the story, not the entire story. When you start your morning by acknowledging the good that already exists in your life, your mindset becomes more balanced. Your heart becomes calmer and your thoughts become clearer. God often works through gratitude by opening your eyes to opportunities that you may have overlooked before. So as this morning continues, allow gratitude to guide your thoughts. Even the smallest blessing can become a powerful reminder that hope is always present. As you continue stepping into this day, remember that your thoughts have tremendous power over the direction of your life. The way you speak to yourself, the beliefs you hold about your future, and the expectations you carry in your heart shape the energy with which you approach each moment. Many people unknowingly weaken their own spirit by constantly repeating negative thoughts. They tell themselves that they are not strong enough, not capable enough, or not fortunate enough to achieve meaningful things. Over time, these thoughts begin to feel like truth, even though they are simply fears disguised as beliefs. But faith invites you to replace those thoughts with something stronger. Instead of focusing on your limitations, focus on the strength that God is developing within you. Instead of expecting failure, begin to expect growth. Instead of assuming that obstacles will stop you, believe that challenges will teach you. Your mind is like a garden. The thoughts you choose to plant and nurture will eventually grow into the attitudes and behaviors that shape your life. So today, choose thoughts that strengthen your spirit. Choose thoughts that remind you of your purpose and your potential. When your mind becomes aligned with faith and determination, your actions naturally begin to follow. Every journey toward strength includes moments where you must continue forward even when motivation feels low. There will be mornings when your energy feels weak, when your confidence feels uncertain, and when the tasks ahead appear overwhelming. During those moments, discipline becomes more important than motivation. Motivation often comes and goes depending on circumstances and emotions, but discipline is the quiet commitment to continue moving forward, regardless of how you feel in a particular moment. God often strengthens people through this process. When you choose to continue doing what is right even when it feels difficult, you develop a deeper sense of integrity and resilience. Over time, these choices build a strong foundation for your life. They shape your character and prepare you to handle greater challenges and greater opportunities. So when you encounter moments today where motivation feels weak, remember that strength does not depend on feelings alone. It depends on the decision to continue walking the path that leads toward growth and purpose. Peace is another powerful form of strength that many people overlook. In a world filled with noise, pressure, and constant activity, the ability to maintain inner peace is incredibly valuable. Peace allows your mind to remain clear when others are overwhelmed. It allows you to make thoughtful decisions instead of reacting impulsively to every situation. This kind of peace does not come from external circumstances. It comes from trust, the quiet assurance that God is guiding your life even when events seem uncertain. When you trust that your life is part of a greater plan, your perspective begins to change. Problems that once felt overwhelming begin to feel more manageable. Delays that once seemed frustrating begin to feel like opportunities for patience and growth. Peace does not mean that challenges disappear. It means that your spirit remains steady even while you face them. So as this morning continues, allow peace to become part of your strength. Trust that every step you take today is part of a journey that is gradually leading you toward greater wisdom, deeper faith, and a stronger life. Another important part of building strength is learning how to face fear with courage. Fear is something every person experiences. It appears when we step into new situations, when we take risks, or when we move toward goals that feel bigger than our current abilities. Fear often whispers that we should stay comfortable and avoid uncertainty. But courage does not mean the absence of fear. Courage means moving forward even while fear is present. When you trust that God is guiding your path, fear begins to lose its power. You realize that even if challenges appear, you will be given the strength and wisdom needed to face them. Faith allows you to step into situations that once seemed intimidating. Every time you move forward despite fear, your confidence grows. You begin to understand that the obstacles you once worried about were not as powerful as they appeared. So today, when fear tries to slow your progress, remember that courage grows through action. Take one step forward, then another. Over time, those steps will lead you further than you ever imagined. Patience is another quality that strengthens your spirit. In today's fast-moving world, many people expect immediate results in every area of life. When progress feels slow, frustration often appears, but meaningful growth rarely happens quickly. Think about the most valuable things in life: wisdom, character, trust, and faith. None of these develop overnight. They grow gradually through experience, reflection, and perseverance. God often uses seasons of waiting to develop patience within us. During these times, we learn to trust the process. Even when the results are not immediately visible, waiting does not mean that nothing is happening. Often it means that preparation is taking place behind the scenes. Opportunities may be developing, lessons may be forming, and your character may be strengthening in ways that will soon become clear. So if you find yourself waiting for answers or progress today, do not assume that your journey has stopped. Trust that growth is still occurring even if you cannot see it yet. As this morning continues, remember that kindness is also a powerful form of strength. In a world where people often rush through their days focused only on their own concerns, simple acts of kindness can create meaningful change. When you choose to treat others with patience, respect, and compassion, you reflect the strength of a calm and confident spirit.
Kindness does not weaken you.
It reveals the depth of your character. Sometimes a kind word, a moment of understanding, or a gesture of encouragement can have a lasting impact on someone else's life. You may never fully know how your actions influence others, but every positive interaction contributes to a more hopeful environment. God often works through people to bring encouragement into the lives of others. By choosing kindness today, you may become the answer to someone else's silent prayer. So as you move through this day, carry strength not only in your determination, but also in your compassion. True strength is not only about overcoming challenges, it is also about lifting others as you continue your own journey. As the morning moves forward, take another moment to reflect on the direction of your life. Many people move through their days without ever pausing to think about the deeper purpose behind their actions. They become busy with responsibilities, deadlines, and worries, but rarely stop long enough to ask themselves whether their daily efforts are leading them toward the life they truly desire. Strength is not only about surviving difficult situations, it is also about having the courage to pursue meaningful goals. When your life is guided by purpose, even the smallest tasks begin to feel significant because they contribute to something larger than the present moment. God often places dreams and ambitions within our hearts as a way of guiding us toward the work we are meant to do. These dreams may not always be easy to pursue, and they may require patience, discipline, and faith, but they serve as reminders that your life has direction and value. As you continue through this morning, remind yourself that your actions matter. The effort you put into your work, your relationships, and your personal growth is shaping the person you are becoming. Another source of strength comes from learning how to release the past. Many people carry memories of past failures, disappointments, or regrets that continue to influence the way they see themselves. They allow yesterday's mistakes to define today's possibilities. But growth requires the courage to move beyond what has already happened. God does not expect perfection from you. Life is a journey of learning. and mistakes are often the lessons that guide us toward better decisions in the future. When you hold on to guilt or regret for too long, you prevent yourself from fully embracing the opportunities that exist today. Forgiveness is a powerful form of freedom. When you forgive yourself and others for past mistakes, you create space for healing and progress. You allow your heart to focus on what can still be achieved rather than what cannot be changed. So as this day unfolds, give yourself permission to release the past. The experiences you have already lived through were not meaningless. They were part of your preparation. But they do not have to control the direction of your future. Gratitude once again becomes an important source of strength as the morning continues. When life becomes busy or stressful, it is easy to overlook the simple blessings that surround us each day. Yet these blessings are often the foundation of a peaceful and balanced life. The ability to appreciate small moments, a quiet morning, supportive friendships, or the opportunity to pursue your goals brings clarity to your perspective. Gratitude helps you see that even during difficult seasons, there are still reasons to remain hopeful. God often reveals His presence through these small blessings. They remind us that life contains both challenges and beauty, both struggle and opportunity. When you begin your day with gratitude, your heart becomes lighter and your mind becomes calmer. Problems may still exist, but they no longer dominate your thoughts in the same way. As you continue through this morning, take time to notice the good that already exists in your life. Gratitude has the power to transform ordinary moments into reminders of hope and strength. As the day continues to unfold, it becomes important to remember that your attitude toward life can influence every situation you encounter. Two people can face the same challenge and experience it in completely different ways simply because their perspectives are different. One person may focus only on the difficulty and become discouraged, while another person may see the same challenge as an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. The difference lies in mindset. When you choose to approach life with faith and determination, obstacles begin to look different. Instead of appearing as walls that stop your progress, they become lessons that shape your character. God often uses challenges to guide us toward deeper understanding. The situations that test your patience today may later become the experiences that allow you to help someone else through their own struggles. So as you move through this day, remember that your perspective matters. Choose to see challenges not as punishments but as opportunities to grow into a stronger and more resilient person. Another powerful source of strength comes from surrounding yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with, the voices you listen to, and the ideas you allow into your mind all contribute to the way you see yourself and the world around you. Encouraging relationships can inspire you to pursue your goals with greater confidence. Supportive voices can remind you of your potential when doubt begins to appear. God often places certain people in our lives for this very reason. Friends, mentors, and loved ones can become sources of wisdom and encouragement during times when we need guidance the most. At the same time, it is important to be mindful of influences that drain your energy or weaken your confidence. Negative attitudes and constant criticism can slowly diminish your sense of hope. As this morning continues, choose to fill your mind with voices that inspire growth and faith. The environment you create around yourself has a powerful impact on the strength you carry within. Discipline is another essential ingredient in building lasting strength. While motivation can inspire you to begin something new, discipline allows you to continue even when excitement fades. There will always be moments when you feel tired or tempted to postpone your responsibilities. During those moments, discipline becomes the quiet force that reminds you of the goals you are working toward. God often rewards persistence. When you remain committed to your efforts despite temporary discomfort, you develop qualities such as reliability, patience, and determination. Over time, these qualities create a strong foundation for success in every area of life. Discipline shapes your habits, and your habits shape your future. So today, remember that every small effort matters. Every step you take toward your goals contributes to the larger journey you are building. Even the smallest act of discipline can bring you closer to the life you hope to create. As this morning continues to unfold, take a moment to remember that every new day is a reminder of possibility. No matter what happened yesterday, today carries the opportunity for a different outcome. Many people underestimate the power of a fresh beginning because they remain focused on past disappointments. But life is constantly moving forward, offering new chances to learn, grow, and improve. God designed each morning as a symbol of renewal. Just as the sun rises after every night, hope can rise again after difficult seasons in your life. The problems you faced yesterday do not have to determine the direction of today. Strength grows when you allow yourself to believe in new beginnings. Instead of dwelling on what cannot be changed, focus on what can still be created. As you continue through this day, remind yourself that the story of your life is still being written. Each decision you make today becomes part of the path you are building for tomorrow. Another source of strength comes from learning to trust the timing of life. Many people become discouraged when their goals take longer to achieve than they originally expected. They compare their progress with others and begin to feel as though they are falling behind. But every person's journey unfolds at its own pace. God's timing does not always match our expectations, yet it often proves to be wiser than our plans. Some opportunities require preparation that cannot be rushed. Some lessons must be learned before certain doors can open. Waiting can feel uncomfortable, but it is often during these periods that your character becomes stronger. Patience develops, wisdom grows, and your understanding of life becomes deeper. So if you feel as though your progress is slower than you hoped, do not assume that something is wrong. Trust that the timing of your journey may be preparing you for something greater than you can currently imagine. Faith becomes even more powerful when it is combined with action. Believing in a better future is important, but taking steps toward that future is equally necessary. Prayer provides guidance and strength, while action transforms that strength into real progress. Many people wait for perfect conditions before they begin working toward their dreams. They hope that confidence will appear first, that fear will disappear, and that every uncertainty will be resolved. But life rarely works that way. Often confidence grows only after you begin moving forward. Courage develops only after you take the first step, and clarity often appears only after you begin the journey. God gives us strength not just to believe but also to act. The talents, abilities, and opportunities placed within your life are meant to be used. So today, combine faith with action. Pray for strength, but also take the steps that move you closer to the life you want to build. As this day continues, it is important to remember that real strength often grows quietly. Many people expect strength to appear during dramatic moments, but most of the time it develops slowly through everyday experiences. Each small challenge you overcome, each moment you choose patience instead of frustration, and each time you continue moving forward, despite uncertainty, contributes to your inner resilience. Think about the times in your life when you believed something was too difficult to handle. At that moment, it may have felt overwhelming, yet somehow you managed to face it and continue your journey. Those experiences are not accidents. They are reminders that your spirit is capable of more than you sometimes realize. God often allows these moments to appear so that you can discover the strength that already exists within you. When you face difficulties with faith instead of fear, you begin to see that your limitations are not as fixed as they once seemed. So as you move through today, remember that each challenge is also an opportunity to develop deeper resilience. Strength grows through experience, and every moment of perseverance adds another layer of confidence to your life. Another important part of building strength is learning how to maintain balance in your life. Many people become so focused on their responsibilities that they forget to care for their own well-being. They push themselves constantly without allowing time for rest, reflection, or renewal. But strength cannot grow in a spirit that is constantly exhausted. God created rhythms within life for a reason. Just as the body requires sleep to restore energy, the mind and heart also require moments of peace and reflection. Taking time to pray, to think, and to reconnect with your purpose allows your spirit to become stronger. When you give yourself space to pause and breathe, you gain clarity about what truly matters. Problems that once seemed overwhelming begin to feel more manageable. Decisions that once felt confusing become easier to understand. So as this day unfolds, remember that strength includes the wisdom to rest when needed. Balance allows you to continue moving forward with clarity and renewed energy. Hope is another powerful source of strength that carries people through difficult seasons. Without hope, even small challenges can feel overwhelming. But when hope is present, even large obstacles can begin to look manageable. Hope is the quiet belief that your efforts matter and that the future can hold possibilities greater than the present moment. It reminds you that today's struggles are not permanent and that new Opportunities may appear in ways you cannot yet see. God often plants hope in the hearts of people as a reminder that life is always capable of change. Even when situations appear complicated or discouraging, hope allows you to continue believing that progress is possible. As you continue through this morning, hold on to hope with confidence. Let it guide your thoughts and strengthen your spirit. Because when hope and faith work together, they create a powerful foundation that can carry you through even the most difficult seasons of life. As the hours of the morning continue, remember that the direction of your life is often shaped by the habits you build each day. Success and strength rarely come from one dramatic decision. Instead, they grow from the small routines that you repeat consistently over time. The way you begin your morning has the power to influence everything that follows. When you start your day with faith, reflection, and gratitude, your mind becomes calmer and more focused. Instead of rushing into the world with stress and worry, you step forward with clarity and purpose. God often meets us in these quiet moments of reflection. When you pause to pray, to breathe, and to gather your thoughts, you create space for wisdom to enter your mind. These simple morning habits may seem small, but they gradually transform the way you experience life. Over time, they shape your attitude, strengthen your patience, and guide your decisions. So as you move forward today, remember that the discipline you practice in small moments will eventually create powerful changes in your future. Another important lesson about strength is learning how to remain calm during uncertainty. Life rarely unfolds exactly the way we expect. Plans change, unexpected challenges appear, and sometimes the path ahead becomes unclear. During these moments, it is easy to feel anxious or discouraged. But faith invites you to respond differently. Instead of allowing uncertainty to control your thoughts, you can choose to trust that every step of your journey is part of a greater plan. God often guides us through situations that we do not fully understand at first. What seems confusing today may later become the exact experience that prepares you for a future opportunity. When you learn to remain calm during uncertainty, you protect your inner peace. You prevent fear from controlling your decisions, and you allow wisdom to guide your actions instead. So if today brings situations that you did not expect, remember that uncertainty does not mean failure. It simply means that the next part of your journey is still unfolding. As this message continues, take another moment to reflect on the strength that comes from perseverance. Many people give up on their goals not because the goals are impossible, but because the path becomes difficult. But perseverance transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Every person who has achieved meaningful success has experienced moments where quitting seemed easier than continuing. Yet the difference between those who succeed and those who stop often comes down to one simple decision: the decision to keep going. God often strengthens people through perseverance. When you continue moving forward despite obstacles, your character becomes stronger and your confidence grows. Each step you take today, no matter how small, contributes to the progress you will see tomorrow. So do not underestimate the value of persistence. The effort you make today may be the beginning of results that will appear in ways you cannot yet imagine. As the day continues to unfold, remember that strength is not measured by how easy life becomes, but by how you respond to its challenges. Every person experiences moments of difficulty. Some days feel smooth and peaceful, while others test your patience and determination. During those difficult moments, it is easy to wonder why obstacles appear. But often those very obstacles are shaping your character in ways that comfort and ease never could. God sometimes allows challenges not to defeat you, but to strengthen you. Each situation that requires courage, patience, and faith becomes part of the process that prepares you for the future. When you begin to see life through this perspective, your struggles no longer feel meaningless. Instead, they become lessons that add depth and wisdom to your journey. So today, if something does not go as planned, remind yourself that every experience carries the possibility of growth. Another important part of strength is learning how to control your focus. The human mind naturally notices problems and difficulties more easily than blessings and opportunities. If you allow your thoughts to dwell constantly on what is wrong, your entire day can begin to feel heavy. But when you train your mind to focus on solutions instead of problems, your energy begins to shift. God has given you the ability to guide your thoughts. You can choose what you focus on, what you believe, and what attitudes you allow to shape your perspective. This does not mean ignoring challenges. It means approaching them with a mindset that believes progress is possible. As you continue through this day, practice directing your attention toward what is constructive and hopeful. When your mind becomes focused on growth and faith, your actions will naturally begin to reflect that same strength. Another powerful source of inner strength comes from humility. Many people think strength means always appearing confident and independent. But humility allows you to recognize that you do not have to carry every burden alone. When you acknowledge your need for guidance, wisdom, and support, you open the door for God to work more deeply in your life. Humility reminds you that life is not a competition against others, but a journey of growth and understanding. When you let go of pride and comparison, you free yourself from unnecessary pressure. God often reveals wisdom to those who approach life with open hearts and teachable spirits. When you remain humble, you become more willing to learn from experiences, from mentors, and from the quiet lessons life provides. True strength is not about pretending to have all the answers. It is about remaining open to learning and trusting that guidance will come when it is needed. As this morning moves forward, consider the power of encouragement. Words have a remarkable influence on the people around you. A simple statement of support can give someone the courage to continue when they were ready to give up. God often works through people to bring hope into the lives of others. When you offer encouragement, you may be helping someone through a struggle that they have not spoken about. Encouragement also strengthens your own spirit. When you focus on lifting others, your heart becomes lighter and your perspective becomes more positive. As you continue your day, look for opportunities to speak words that inspire hope and confidence. Even small acts of encouragement can create meaningful impact. Strength is not only about what you achieve for yourself, it is also about how you help others grow along the way. As we move closer to the middle of this message, reflect on how far you have already come in your life. Every experience you have lived through has added to the person you are becoming today. There were moments when you felt uncertain, times when you questioned whether you could continue, and situations where the outcome seemed unclear. Yet through all of those moments, you kept moving forward. That persistence is evidence of strength. God often works gradually, shaping people through experiences rather than instant change. The lessons you learn today may later become the wisdom that guides someone else, so do not underestimate the value of your journey. The path you have walked, the obstacles you have faced, and the patience you have developed are all part of a story that is still unfolding. As this message continues, remember that growth often happens in ways that are not immediately visible. Many people become discouraged because they expect progress to appear quickly and clearly. When results are slow, they begin to question whether their efforts matter. But life does not always reveal its rewards immediately. Think about the way seeds grow beneath the soil. For a long time, nothing appears on the surface. Yet beneath the ground, roots are quietly forming and preparing the plant for future growth. In the same way, the work you are doing today may be developing strengths that are not yet visible. Your patience, discipline, and faith may be forming a foundation that will support opportunities later in your life. God often works through these unseen processes. While you focus on your daily responsibilities, He may be arranging circumstances and preparing paths that you cannot yet see. So when progress feels slow, do not lose hope. Trust that growth is still happening, even if it has not yet become visible. Another important lesson about strength is learning how to adapt when life changes unexpectedly. No matter how carefully we plan, circumstances sometimes shift in ways we never anticipated. These moments can feel uncomfortable because they move us out of familiar routines, but they also create opportunities for growth. When you learn to adapt, you develop flexibility and resilience. Instead of becoming overwhelmed by change, you begin to see it as part of life's natural rhythm. God often uses change to guide people toward new paths. Situations that seem confusing at first may later reveal themselves as important turning points in your journey. So if today brings something unexpected, approach it with curiosity rather than fear. Trust that every change carries the potential for new understanding and new opportunity. Faith also reminds us that strength is closely connected to trust. When you trust that your life has purpose and direction, your heart becomes calmer even during difficult situations. Trust allows you to release the constant need to control every outcome. Instead of worrying about every detail of the future, you focus on doing your best in the present moment. God does not expect you to understand every step of your journey. What He asks is that you continue moving forward with faith. When trust becomes part of your mindset, Challenges lose their power to create constant anxiety. You begin to understand that every experience is contributing to the story of your life. This kind of trust brings peace into your daily decisions. It reminds you that even when circumstances are uncertain, you are not walking alone. Another powerful source of strength is gratitude for the lessons life teaches you. Every experience, whether joyful or difficult, adds to your understanding of the world and your place within it. When you begin to view life as a classroom instead of a series of random events, even challenges begin to feel meaningful. Each moment becomes an opportunity to grow wiser and more compassionate. God often teaches through experience. Situations that once felt confusing may later become the exact lessons that prepare you to help others. So as this day continues, approach your experiences with curiosity and humility. Be willing to learn from both successes and difficulties. Each lesson you learn today becomes part of the wisdom that will guide your future. As we approach the end of this reflection, take one more moment to connect with the strength that already exists within you. The journey you have walked so far has shaped you into someone more resilient than you may realize. Every challenge you faced, every obstacle you overcame, and every lesson you learned has contributed to the person you are becoming. God has not abandoned your journey. Even in moments when you felt uncertain, He has been guiding your steps and preparing you for the path ahead. So as you continue through this day, walk forward with confidence. Trust that the strength you are building today will carry you through tomorrow's challenges. Your story is still unfolding, and every step you take with faith and determination is shaping a future filled with possibility. As this message continues, take a moment to realize that strength is not something reserved for a few extraordinary people. Strength is something that grows within anyone who chooses to continue moving forward despite life's difficulties. Every person has moments of doubt. Every person experiences days when motivation feels weak and the future feels uncertain. But those moments do not define your potential. God has placed within you the ability to rise again after discouragement and to continue walking even when the path feels long. That ability is the quiet strength that carries people through life's most challenging seasons. So today, remember that strength is not about never feeling tired or uncertain. It is about continuing even when those feelings appear. Another important truth about strength is that it grows through faith. When you believe that your life has meaning and that your efforts matter, you approach each day with greater determination. Faith allows you to continue even when results are not immediate. It reminds you that every effort contributes to the larger journey you're building. God often rewards persistence. The steps you take today may seem small, but over time they accumulate into meaningful progress. So as you continue your day, keep your focus on faith and perseverance. Those qualities will guide you through both challenges and opportunities. Your life also carries the power to influence others. The way you respond to difficulties, the patience you show during stressful moments, and the kindness you extend to others all become examples that people around you notice. Sometimes the greatest impact you can have on the world is simply living your life with courage and integrity. God often uses ordinary people to create extraordinary encouragement for others. By remaining strong in your own journey, you may inspire someone else to believe in their own strength. So remember that your actions matter not only for your own life, but also for the people who observe your example. As you move further into this day, remember the importance of hope. Hope is the belief that the future can hold possibilities greater than the present moment. Without hope, challenges feel overwhelming, but with hope, even the most difficult situations can become manageable. God plants hope in the hearts of people so that they will continue striving toward better days. It reminds us that today's struggles are not permanent and that new opportunities may appear when we least expect them. Hold on to hope with confidence. It is one of the most powerful forces that can guide your life forward. Patience also plays a vital role in building strength. Life rarely moves at the exact pace we expect, and many of our goals require time to develop. During seasons of waiting, patience becomes the quality that protects your peace. Instead of becoming frustrated by delays, patience allows you to trust that preparation is still taking place. God often uses these waiting periods to develop wisdom and character within us. So when progress feels slow, remind yourself that growth is still happening. Even when results are not visible yet, the process of development continues. Gratitude once again becomes a powerful source of energy as the day moves forward. When you pause to appreciate the blessings that already exist in your life, Your perspective becomes clearer, and your spirit becomes lighter. Gratitude reminds you that life contains both challenges and opportunities. It prevents difficulties from dominating your thoughts and allows you to remain balanced. God often reveals His presence through these simple blessings. They remind us that even during complicated seasons, there are still reasons to remain hopeful. Another part of strength is learning to believe in your own potential. Many people limit themselves because they underestimate what they are capable of achieving. But growth begins the moment you allow yourself to believe that improvement is possible. God has given every person unique abilities and opportunities. When you use those gifts with determination and humility, your life can develop in ways that once seemed impossible. Do not allow doubt to silence the potential within you. Continue exploring your abilities and developing your strengths. As the end of this reflection approaches, take another moment to reconnect with the purpose of your journey. Your life is not random. Each experience, each challenge, and each lesson is contributing to the person you are becoming. God often shapes people through gradual experiences rather than sudden changes. The process may take time, but it leads to deeper wisdom and stronger character. Trust that your journey has direction. Even when the path is unclear, progress is still possible. Before this message ends, take a deep breath and prepare to step fully into your day. Whatever challenges or responsibilities await you, remember that you do not face them alone. Strength, patience, and faith are already present within you. Every lesson you have learned and every experience you have survived has prepared you for this moment. Walk into this day with courage and confidence. As this morning reflection comes to its end, remember one final truth. Your story is still being written. The difficulties you faced yesterday do not determine the victories you may experience tomorrow. Every new day offers the opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more faithful. God has placed within you the strength to continue, the courage to overcome obstacles, and the hope to believe in better days ahead. So step into this day with faith in your heart and determination in your actions. Trust that every effort you make, every challenge you face, and every lesson you learn is guiding you toward a future filled with purpose and possibility. Walk forward with strength. Walk forward with hope. And remember that the same faith that carried you through yesterday will continue guiding you today and in every day that follows.